Hello everyone, welcome to Nathan Talk Sports. I'll be going over the Super Bowl recap, the Russian figure skating scandal, and the Harden-Simmons trade. First, let's start with the big event of the week, the Super Bowl. It was a pretty good game overall. I got the game wrong, but I got 500 in Super Bowl squares, $500, so I'll take it. Alright, now on to the game itself. Alright, first quarter, Rams started with a Beckham touchdown. And that was his big contribution for the game, and he sadly got hurt. McPherson followed with a field goal to cut the deficit to 7-3. 7-3 Rams after one. Then Kupp caught a Stafford touchdown to put them up 13-3 because the PAT was blocked. Money. Big play for me, personally, but on to the game itself. T. Higgins caught a touchdown pass thrown by Joe Mixon, which I thought was cool in the Super Bowl. Sort of like a Philly special, but with the receiver catching it. So it was 13-10 at the half. Halftime show was fantastic. Dre, Lamar, Snoop, Mary J. Blige, and Eminem. Probably the second best one ever. IMO, because Bruno Mars, Coldplay, Beyonce. I think that was Super Bowl 50. That was the only good thing about that Super Bowl, though. Besides Cam falling on the ground, but even that is a Peyton win, and I'm a Pats fan, so that's not good. Alright, shortly at the halftime, Burrow threw a touchdown to Higgins. Put them up 17-13, first lead of the game. Rams had only sacked Burrow one time at that point, but the floodgates opened. A Stafford pass was picked off for the second time. And, sorry about that noise. I don't know what that is. A Stafford pass was picked off for the second time. So the Bengals started at the Rams 31, trying to go up 2 scores, but even though they got a first down, the Rams sacked them twice on the drive. After only even one sack through 2.5 quarters. I said the Bengals needed to limit themselves to 2 or fewer sacks in order to win. And they had 2 on that drive alone. And the floodgates opened after that. Bengals did get the field goal to go up 20-13. Rams kicked a field goal. About halfway through the third, got up 20-16. And they traded punts for about a quarter. I don't know what that noise is. Just ignore the noise. Sorry about that. And Tyler Boyd dropped a pass on 3rd and long, which set up the last punt. And the Rams got it, and I was thinking maybe the Rams had 2 more drives, but McVay thought they had 1. I saw it immediately. 4th and 1 of the 29, they went for it. That's when I knew this was the Rams' last chance. They got the first down, cut for a 7-yard gain. Haven't said his name very much, but he deserves to be said. Because he's had an amazing season, and I'll talk about that later. And eventually the Rams got down to the Bengals 8. And then the madness happened. 2 incomplete passes, nothing special. But then 3rd down, a weak defensive holding call on the Bengals gave the Rams the first down. It probably was, but they've been letting them play the whole game, so that was not a good idea to do that. Throw that flag. And then there were offsetting penalties on what could have been a touchdown. And then there was pass interference, get the ball to the 1. Then Stafford failed to sneak it in. And then on the 7th play, inside of the 8-yard line, Stafford threw to Kupp for a touchdown, giving the Rams the lead, 23-20. But the Bengals still had a chance with over a minute to go. And through all 3 timeouts, I believe. Correction, 2 timeouts. These one after the sneak. After the kickoff, Barr threw to Chase for 17 yards. And then a 9-yard pass to Tyler Boyd. It was 2nd and 1. Bengals had 2 timeouts. 52 seconds, needing about 10 to 15 yards for a game-tying field goal attempt. With McPherson, who was automatic. So automatic that he didn't even bother going to the locker room. He was like, I'm in the zone. I'll just watch the halftime show. What I would have done too. 14 for 14 this postseason, by the way. Fantastic. And Bengals decided to throw a deep pass to Chase, which I liked on 2nd and 1, but it fell incomplete. Then they handed it off. And he was stuffed by, P. Ryan was stuffed at the line. And now it was 4th down. And it was 4th and 1. They had to call their second timeout. So they had a timeout, about 45 seconds, needing a yard. And this is going to get into my offseason keys. They did not pick up the first down. Burrow tried to run it out, roll out and throw it. But Aaron Donald got to him and he had to throw it in Pete Ryan's general direction. It fell. And Matthew Stafford and the Rams won the Super Bowl. Congrats to Matt Stafford. 12 years without a playoff win, then getting 4 and a ring. That's legacy defining for him, and even though I don't think it should, that might get him into the Hall of Fame. And key player stats. Joe Burrow, 22 of 33, 263 at a touchdown. Mixon had 15 carries for 72 yards. He should have been the one taking the 4th down carry. 3rd down carry, and then the 4th down carry. If not, although I think he would have gotten it. Chase had 5 catches, 89 yards. Higgins, 4 catches, 100 yards, 2 TDs. Rams, Stafford, 26 of 40, 283, 3 TDs, 2 picks. Cam Akers didn't do well, but credit to him for even coming back this season after his Achilles injury. 13 carries, 21 yards. Did have 3 catches for 14 yards. Darrell Henderson had a nightmare on running, but contributed a bit in the receiving. 4 carries for 7 yards, but 3 catches for 43 yards. Odell Beckham, before the injury, 2 catches, 52 yards, and a TD. Aaron Donald had 2 sacks, as did Von Miller. Cooper Kupp, 8 catches, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. It felt like he had 15 catches for 150 yards the way he was going at the end of the game, but I guess most of the yards came in the final drive. Cooper Kupp, the greatest receiving season in the history of the NFL. No question for me. 2nd all-time in regular season catches, 145 catches. 2nd all-time with 1,947 yards. Had 16 touchdowns as well. Most yards and catches when counting the playoffs. Over 2,400 yards, 178 catches, and 22 touchdowns. Receiving triple crown. 4th man in history to do it. Yards, catches, touchdowns. And a Super Bowl MVP to go with it. Bengals have to keep Joe Burrow upright next year. 70 sacks including the playoffs. 19 in the postseason, and Burrow got another knee injury. Luckily, this doesn't seem too serious, but Joe Burrow's going to have a very short career if they can't protect him. What the Rams need to do to defend their title. 1. Try and convince Aaron Donald and Sean McVay to come back and prove the retirement rumors are false. They thought Aaron Donald wanted to retire. There were rumors. And McVay wanted to go into broadcasting, although both said they wanted to come back, which is great news for the Rams. And the Rams should make sure they do so. 2. Try and maneuver the cap to keep the core intact as long as possible. Restructure some contracts and trade away high salary players that are not part of the core, even for late round picks. And 3, try and get some draft picks. A way to get solid pieces for low cap hits is to have lots of draft picks. However, the Rams don't have many draft picks because they went all in. Correctly went all in because they won the Super Bowl. All the Rams have is a 5th and 2 7ths. And the 5th and the 7th are low because they won the Super Bowl. And it's not much better in the years to come, but no matter what happens next, they can call themselves world champions. What's happening for the Bengals next? Sign some offensive linemen. That is the main thing. Jonah Williams is the only untouchable on that offensive line. Get a solid number 2 running back. We saw that P. Ryan was not trusted at all during the postseason, except remarkably during their most important drive. Teams are sharing carries more than ever, but P. Ryan only had a little over 200 yards in the regular season. Nothing in the postseason, and fell apart on 3rd and 4th down. The Bengals should also not be afraid to overpay free agency. They have $55 million in cap space. Strike while the iron is hot before you have to spend $40 million to extend Joe Burrow. A QB on a rookie contract is the most valuable thing in all of sports, I believe. And that's why. Burrow's making like $10 million. So if he made $40 million, they'd only have about $25 million in cap space. So that's $30 million extra dollars that they should use. Fun Super Bowl facts. This one is not fun for the Bengals or Joe Burrow. The last 16 QBs to lose their first Super Bowl start have never made it back to the Super Bowl as a starter. The last one to win a Super Bowl was John Elway. He had his first start in Super Bowl 21 and won his first Super Bowl in Super Bowl 32. That's about 25 and 40 years ago. 35 years ago, correction. Sorry about that. Matthew Stafford is the first QB to play 12 seasons without winning a playoff game, then win the Super Bowl. Even had to win 4 games to do so. Rams have 43 rushing yards, second lowest by a winning team. Oh, that was the Rams as well, Super Bowl 34. Just 29 yards rushing. Even in the pass-happy NFL, I don't think that's a normal thing. That shows how good Stafford and Kupp were, as well as the Rams' defense. Rams had a Super Bowl record with 7 sacks as well, and that's why they won the game. MVP was Cooper Kupp. The runner-up was the entire defense. All right, James Harden, Ben Simmons trade. Trade of superstars inside the division. It's an extremely rare thing. Simmons does not play due to mental health issues this season, and Harden won out of Brooklyn. So this is a very good trade idea for both of them. Brooklyn got Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, 2022 first-round pick, and a 2027 first-round pick. It's a pretty big haul. And all they gave away was James Harden, who was unhappy, and Paul Millsap. Good trade because the Sixers have a second true superstar to go with Joel Embiid. Help with their title chances. Nets get 3 solid players and 2 first-round picks to help them retool for next season. And why I'm saying retool? What happened to the Nets lately? Kevin Durant is injured. Kyrie Irving can only play road games. Recently had an 11-game losing streak. When's the last time you've seen a title contender have an 11-game losing streak? I believe they're 9th in the East. And they're going to fall apart. I don't even know if they'll make the play-in. All right. Big story of the week. Kamila Valieva. 15-year-old figure skater favored to win the gold medal in long track figure skating. Tested positive for trimetazidine. Sorry, I'm not a medical professional, so I probably got that wrong. A banned substance designed for older people suffering from heart conditions has little effect on figure skating performance, but would impact your ability to train for longer and thus improve your skills. That's why it's banned for figure skating. Positive test was in December. Was not found out about until after the Olympics had started. Already has helped the ROC provisionally win the gold medal in the team competition, although it's probably getting stripped. Although knowing that it's the ROC, Russia, someone else will probably get the medal stripped before then for the team, before the appeals decided. If she makes the finals in the individual events, there will be an extra finalist because she's only allowed to compete provisionally. No medal ceremonies will be held for figure skating. Many athletes have criticized allowing her to compete. The pressure's clearly getting to her. She's crying and holding on to a stuffed animal. Russia has been banned from competing under the Russian name, flag, and anthem for the 2018 Winter, 2020 Summer, and 2022 Winter Games. And that's probably going to continue for a while, especially after this. Trimetazidine is typically taken in pill form, but she says she accidentally drank a sip of her grandfather's drink, and that's how he got the medication in. She's under the age of 16, so she's not considered fully responsible by anti-doping agencies, but they'll focus on the doctors, the trainers, and the coaches, and their parents as well. Cass allowed her to compete, Court of Arbitration for Sport, due to the possible irreparable harm to her career. Her coach, Itari Tudorbize, coached many young figure skaters to great success, but virtually all of them in short careers. Most figure skaters retire in their mid-20s to early 30s, but none of hers have even made it out of their teens. She forces athletes to delay puberty, not drink water during competitions, has daily weigh-ins, verbal and physical abuse, and being forced to compete while injured. And this training is at a school called Sambo 70. Everything is wrong about this situation. Tudorbize, likely the Russian Olympic Committee, and possibly her parents too, forcing her to take this medication. It's harmful for children and not prescribed for the people under 18. It is blatantly illegal under anti-doping laws and laws of the IOC. Tudorbize's abusive training practices have ruined many lives for short-term success. Delaying puberty, forcing skaters to lose weight, and not allowing them to drink water, verbal abuse as well, lifelong physical, mental, and emotional consequences to that. She needs to be banned for life from figure skating. Why is Valieva being allowed to compete after a positive test? Really? Irreparable harm? What the fuck? There's irreparable harm because of her coach being an asshole to everyone. That's why there's irreparable harm. Normal figure skating, there's plenty more chance for at least 2 or 3 more Olympics. But no, this is the only one, because the real is coach piece of shit. And why is the Swedish drug lab not testing the samples ASAP? These are Olympic drug testing samples for the biggest sporting event in the world, besides the Summer Olympics, from a country that is already basically formally banned, but not banned. We'll talk about that later, from competing in the Olympics, because all their athletes are on doping, on steroids. And for some reason, they don't test them in time. The IOC should have had their own lab to test them. Like, really? How do you not have special labs that don't have COVID tests in them? You had almost 2 years to plan for this in the pandemic lifestyle. 2 years. Oh, IOC canceling medal ceremonies. That's horrific as well because this ruins the moment for so many athletes. Medal ceremony is typically one of the best moments of their lives, but it's ruined because the IOC has no guts. Tell Russia to fuck off and ban Valieva from competition. That's what they should have done. Russia is running a level of doping at least as much as East Germany during the Cold War. And there wasn't even formal testing most of the time, so most of those medals weren't even stripped. This is illegal now, blatantly. And why is the World Anti-Doping Agency allowing Russia to compete in any way, shape, or form? This is 3 Olympics now, where they've had this Russian Olympic Committee, neutral athletes from Russia, Olympic athletes from Russia, ROC. It's all bullshit. It's Russia. We know it's Russia. Every broadcaster fucks up half the time and says Russia. Seriously, it's Russia. You know it, they know it, we know it. How are they still competing in the Olympics? They didn't learn from this bullshit. Questions for officials. First question, if Valieva is fully responsible for her action, is not fully responsible for her actions, why is she allowed to compete? Why the IOC won't do anything for that? They want the stories of super young athletes competing, but they don't want them to take responsibility and feel like they're abusing them, even though they're clearly abusing these athletes. My solution is make athletes fully responsible for their actions or limit them to only being above the age where they are fully responsible for their actions. Fully responsible people should be against fully responsible people, whatever age you determine as fully responsible. People who are not considered fully responsible should be against people who are not considered fully responsible. No mixing. Number 2, why would the IOC cancel the medal ceremonies instead of have provisional ceremonies, which has been done in the past? Even with flowers instead of medals, it would have been better because at least the athletes would have gotten on that podium. Why? I think they won't do anything substantial? Fix that? They don't want the embarrassment of the wrong medals being awarded again. When considering they've had other medal ceremonies with Russian athletes where they've had to strip the medals and a bunch of other countries as well. This won't be the first time, and this won't be the last. What they should do, have the ceremony with flowers, or better yet, ban Valieva immediately so they can have proper ceremonies without any suspicion. Or at least known suspicion. Number 3, why are there not stricter protocols on Olympic training facilities? Especially for younger athletes and female athletes. Especially after the Larry Nassar sex abuse scandal. Why they won't do anything? They don't care. They're making money, and that's all they care about. My solution? Have stricter protocols for coaches, trainers, and doctors, and have actual, legitimate supervision of the facilities. And ban coaches, trainers, teams, doctors, and nationalities even who abuse athletes. Number 4, why has WADA not fully banned Russia from the Olympics? It's all geopolitics. Cold War style mentality. It's like many people, especially in this era, have an us versus them mentality with Russia, and they don't want to be seen as doing anything when this is perfectly fair. This isn't Russiagate. This is fair and legitimate. Russia is doping. All their athletes should be presumed doping unless proven innocent. And most of them won't be proved innocent. My solution, ban Russia from the 2024 summer, 2026 winter, 2028 summer, and 2030 winter games, as well as the 2022, 2026, and 2030 World Cups. If you can't ban it for 2022, ban them for 2026 and 2030. This would mean after Russia appeals, it's almost certain there will be at least one Olympics for summer and winter and one World Cup that Russia will not be there in any way, shape, or form. No Russian Olympic Committee, no Olympic athletes from Russia, no neutral athletes from Russia, no ROC. That is how you punish Russia and any other country who wants to go do what they do. So in conclusion, fuck the Russian Olympic Committee and fuck Tudor Bizet. Thanks for watching.